see documented. Today I'm going to be using this sketch from Scrapbook Generations. It's a one-page sketch, and I'm going to be using it with full-size 4x6 photos. I do go ahead and cut down one of my photo to a 4x4 just because there was a lot of dead space in it. So I am pulling out a couple different pieces to use as the strips in the background. So I pull out this blue and the brown, and then I also look for a yellow because I really wanted to pull in those three colors from the stamped postage paper. I do go ahead and banner them off, and I will cut them down a little bit to just what I need right behind the layout. I didn't want to really waste any of that paper and try to use it in other parts of my layout. So once I get the papers down and figure out what I'm going to be doing, I do go ahead and cut down my second photo to a 3x4. I just felt like it was covering up too much of that postage stamp paper, and I really wanted to showcase a little bit more. I originally cut these strips at 2 inches, but I realized that they were just way too big. So what I decided to do was go ahead and cut them down to 1 inch and then add them to the back of the postage stamp paper. So I go ahead and add this sticker down. I really like that ruler paper, and so I had 2 strips of it. So I go ahead and add that to the top and bottom of the postage stamp paper. And I get my photos down, and then I decide that I'm going to use these letters here to spell out Washington Monument. So now I'm adding just a few more embellishment pieces. I'm adding a couple of stars and that arrow to the title, and those stars are from the Little Prince collection. I decided that I was going to go ahead and add the number 1 and then this sticker here. I don't know what it is about like the silhouette pictures, but it just reminds me of like Washington and Lincoln with the silhouette. So I really like that sticker, and I go ahead and add that right below the photos. I went ahead and added at the very top a sticker with a light bulb. Then what I realize is that I've already documented these photos, and I had done them not during the series but previously on the Crafty Maven, so I will link those below. So I decide that I'm not going to change anything about the layout. I think that it will work as well for the National Mall. So I had 2 photos for that, so I go ahead and take up my title. Luckily I had not glued them down with liquid adhesive, and we know that the chipboard thickers just do not stick, so it was very simple to pull up the title and then add my new title of the National Mall. Now the second set of layouts that I am doing is for the Lincoln Memorial. I thought that I had a lot more photos for the Lincoln Memorial, and I knew that I had additional photos for the Lincoln Memorial, but I couldn't find them. So I just settled for these 2 photos when I was scrapping this page, and I am adding the banner pieces up there to the top. I really like that banner piece, and I think that it really adds to this page because I don't have a lot of photos. So because I only had those 2 photos, adding this bigger piece at the top there with the banners is what I think really helps make this layout stand out. So I have these 2 photos here, and I am adding the Lincoln car there, and then I'm adding that 5 cents. And when I do, it comes back to me that I've also done those photos. So I decide to pull up my photos and figure out a different layout to do. And this time I'm going to decide to use the National Christmas Tree. So yeah, there was a lot of trial and error in these 2 layouts, and I am really surprised that I, 1, didn't remember that I had completed the layouts, and 2, I had actually videoed them. So I had done voiceovers for them, and I just didn't remember for whatever reason. So I'm glad that I had 2 additional photos that I could use. which were the National Christmas Tree, and I do go ahead and add a couple more banner pieces, and I think that it still works well, even though the National Christmas Tree picture, the one that's on the right, is a little bit bigger than what I had when I was doing the Lincoln Memorial, but I think that it still works. So once I get most of the pieces down, I'm going to fiddle with the banners a little bit more, trying to fill in up there at the top, making sure that it looks really well. I do go ahead and add a couple of brads. Now I haven't used a lot of brads, but I always like the way that they look. I don't know what it is about the actual brad itself. It just gives a different appearance. I know that they have some flat brads now that don't poke through, and I like those as well, but it's just a different texture and I really like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in the title. I did have that one tiny little piece that had ripped when I took the photos up, so I made sure I covered that up with part of my title. And after I make sure everything is straight, I'm gonna go ahead and put the word tree down. It doesn't really fit in that space, so I go ahead and put it over the photo, and I'm okay with it covering up some of that white space at the top there. So my title is Oh Christmas Tree. After that, I do go ahead and add a few enamel hearts. Now I do have that rosette there, and I realize that it has a rocking horse on it. What you'll see when I do my close-ups is I did find a planted tree to cover up that rocking horse, so it looks more like a Christmas tree. All right, everyone, so here is my final layouts as well as some close-ups. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layouts, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because that's all you're going to get on my channel. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.